In this part of the compass, we're going to be going over the brand voice. So what is the voice? The voice is a thorough summary of how the brand communicates to the audience in their own unique way. This is what it looks like on the finalized brand carry-out document. And so I kind of want to explain it a little bit more in depth of what it actually is. So I'm sure you are familiar with these characters. I hope you are. This is Harry, Hermione, and Ron from Harry Potter, of course. All three best friends with very different personalities and voices. And so I want you to think about, would Harry, Hermione, and Ron, how would they all try and sell you something? They would probably go about it in a very different way. Harry would probably take some courageous and bold action. Hermione would try and use logic, and Ron would probably try to use wit, right? Even though they're all trying to sell you the same thing, they would all try to communicate it in a different way. Okay, so how do we create the brand voice? So what you're going to do first is you're going to take those three adjectives that you did in the strategy session, adjectives 1, 2, and 3, and you're going to just transfer them over, and you're going to put them at the top of the brand voice, because these are going to be the adjectives that you're really going to focus in on, that you want the brand voice to overall feel like. Next, you're going to create a summary below those adjectives that goes a lot more in depth about how those adjectives are going to be used and why we're doing that. So here's what you should include in that summary. I always like to start off with a fun little comparison because it really personifies the voice and it makes it seem a lot more relatable. If I don't ever use a comparison, my clients are always like, I get it, but I don't get it. Like, they don't always have as much clarity, and I end up having to do a little bit more revisions on these if I don't do the comparison. So I do think if you can do this, please do it, because it'll save you a lot of time. So things like the fun older sister, wicked witch turned good, cool guy from the football team, whenever you can kind of relate it, people can pull from movies in real life. Like, oh yeah, I know what that sounds like. It's so much easier to explain. So the next thing that you're going to talk about too is you're going to talk about why this voice is so important to the customer understanding the product and services. Why go with this voice over another voice? What is it going to help communicate? What problems is it going to solve? How is it going to make your client feel? All those things. You're also going to talk about how to use this voice consistently across the whole board. Because there's lots of different platforms involved in a business. There's Instagram, there's website, there's email marketing. You want to talk about how you're going to do that. And if it needs to be in a more professional setting, how are you going to do it there? You're also going to tell them what to avoid and how to avoid it. For example, if you have a client that really has the voice of a refined, luxurious, but also down-to-earth brand, you need to make sure, I don't want them to sound stuck up. So in order to make sure that they don't sound stuck up, maybe they could talk about this every once in a while, give them some content ideas, or make sure you use this kind of a voice. There's so many things that you could do to help you with that. I struggle to sometimes foresee what it is that they should avoid. This is a really big part of the voice, so I don't want to mess this up. And this book, and I'm leaving an affiliate link below so that you can go and purchase this book, is my Bible when it comes to the voice. Every time I'm creating a voice, I always try and identify it with one of the voices in this book. Basically, this book has like 10 different brand personas, and in each of those brand personas, it has a very unique voice in there. And so I take tips from that as well. And it also talks about some things that you should avoid in the book. So I always go to the book and I'm like, hey, what are some things I avoid if I'm doing this, this, and this? And it's really, really helpful. Another thing that you can do is you can go to your clients' competitors and look at their voice. And there's obviously some things in your clients' competitors that we're going to want to avoid or not do, or that maybe we don't like. And so you can pull things from your competitors and be like, X, Y, and Z is doing this, and so this is, and it's making them sound like that, and we don't want to do that. So I want you to not do that. Avoid it. Just really clearly spell it out for your client. So let's quickly go over how to write a brand voice summary. You're going to first use 3 overarching adjectives. 2, you're going to use a personality comparison. 3, you're going to talk about why this voice is going to be helpful to your client. 4th, how to use this voice consistently on different platforms so that they have all the tools to use them. You want to make this actionable. And 5th, not 2 4s, 5th, what should they avoid and look out for? And there you go. That's how you would create your brand voice.